We always stress that we are service first, membership second. At the same time, we know that membership is the bloodline of the organization. It is our member who makes our programs and achievements possible. The way I look at it is like this. There are about 20 million eligible veterans out there to join our organization. Subtract that from our 2.4 million who are already members. And we have about 17.5 million left. If we lay off the younger veterans for a little while, that leaves more than 10 million eligible older and middle-aged veterans, those of the Vietnam and Gulf War generation that we should go after. Frankly, if you say that we are service first and membership second, and then the moment that you run into a young veteran, you hand them, he or she, a membership card, an application, it rings a little hollow when we talk about service first. The only application that most of the young warriors, when they return home, that they're interested in are probably application for jobs and maybe some assistance for the VA college or the other VA paperwork. That's where they need the application. That's where they need the service. Once they see that the American Legion sponsor more than over 100 job fairs a year and play a pivotal role in the passenger of the GI Bill that they enjoy right now, they will join. They will join, as long as we remain relevant to them and their brothers and sisters in arms. As leaders in your department, I can't stress enough the importance of concentrating your energies on the right post. What do I mean by the right post? That is, you shouldn't waste a lot of time on the posts that clearly don't want any help, don't want to do anything. You always hear this quote, "We've done it a certain way." Well, they will continue to do it in a certain way. So those posts are probably beyond anyone's help. The same goes for the posts that are already excelled and doing an outstanding job. Leave them alone if they're already proving to be successful. Spend your time with the one in the middle. You have more time to help them because you leave out the top part and the bottom part. Our energies should be spent helping the posters that are willing to be active and improve their recruiting and operations efforts. A key part of our recruiting is engagement. Don't just sign them up and forget about them. When you sign someone up, you inherit a bigger responsibility of finding a good post, a good home for them. As I just said, we serve with pride. It's contagious. If you serve with pride, new members will also serve with pride. We are in this for the right reason. You know it, I know it. I can't brag enough about the outstanding caliber of the men and women in our military today. I saw it during my recent visit to Afghanistan, the Far East trip, and other military installations and hospitals that I visited. We need to remember them when we fight the battle over military retirement and TRICARE benefits. Even though many of those proposals will be grandfathered, many of the troops are telling me that we need to continue to fight for the young generation that will follow them. It's the NCOs, the officers, looking out for their troops and the future troops of our nation. The importance of this meeting cannot be overstretched. This is an election year. It is up to us to ensure that the candidates for the White House, Congress, and any local office in your state address the right issues in their upcoming campaigns. 60 years ago, America was engaged in a bloody and horrific war on the Korean Peninsula. The war did not have to last 3 years. We did not have to lose 35,000 American lives, but America was caught off guard. Following World War II, the budget cutter decided to take the greatest military ever put together and gut it. The brave men of Task Force Smith were simply outnumbered and outgunned as they faced down the horde of the North Korean soldiers that overwhelmed them in 1950. Fast forward to today, we have pulled out our force in Iraq and are in the process of winding down our operations in Afghanistan. The President and his Defense Department had already announced some planned reductions in force, reductions that pale in comparison to what happened if Congress and the White House failed to engage on spending cuts that lined up with the sequestration hit January 2013. While many predicted the political survival instance of our elected leaders will require them to work together eventually, that is a big gamble that we cannot afford to lose. Last year, we constantly heard about the national debt as a congressional supercommittee worked to address it. Legionnaires from across this great organization contacted every member of the supercommittee and reminded them that America's greatest national debt is to her veterans. It is a debt that can never be fulfilled or repaid, and it is a debt that must always be remembered. Those who have defended this nation must not have their sacrifices furthered away because of irresponsible decisions made by our leaders in Washington. We must get all political candidates to stay on record at what they will do to keep America strong. We salute and thank President Obama for his executive order cracking down on for-profit schools from using deceptive practices against student veterans. We call on the President to quickly approve the Keystone XL pipeline, which will not only provide shovel-ready jobs for veterans, but rearm us from our dependency on Middle East oil. We welcome the recent recommendations from the Defense Business Board, which will make it easier to certify troops for civilian career at the same time they undergo their military training. We have been calling for this since 1996, when our economic staff first started meeting with the Department of Labor to discuss this issue. It makes no sense for someone serving as an air traffic controller, combat medic, military police officers, or in any of the hundreds of other diverse jobs and skills in the military to be told that they don't qualify, they don't have the credentials to be performing in this field in civilian sector. We have a magnificent military because of these people. We can all benefit from their skills. Let's remove that red tape. And while we're at it, let's protect the red, white, and blue. Senator Hatch's office continues to solicit additional co-sponsors for Resolution Number 19, a proposed constitutional amendment to protect the American flag from physical desecration. It simply states that Congress shall have power to prohibit the physical desecration of the flag of the United States. The most recent legislative report stated that there are 33 co-sponsors, and its companion bill, House Joint Resolution 13, has 84 co-sponsors as of right now. I encourage everybody here in this room, when you go back to contact your congressional delegations in your department and get everybody on board. But unlike some other veterans group, we do more than just lobby. We're out there in the community across this country. Everybody in this room is an ambassador for the American Legion. As such, I encourage you all to pick up a copy of the National Consolidated Report and read over some of the amazing things this great organization have accomplished over the last year. More accurately, we have been doing these things for the last 93 years. But it's only recently that we try to list the accomplishments in a single, easy-to-read report. This report makes it very easy for all of us to answer the questions, what does the American do? What does the American Legion do? With this report, you can tell them exactly what we do day in and day out. I know that today and tomorrow we have a very busy agenda, so I'm going to close now. There are many important issues for us to discuss the next couple of days. I'm confident that together we can all come up with the best solution. So let's have a great meeting. Thank you for your attention.